This is an ultimate beginner's guide for Black Ops 6 Zombies. I'm going to explain how it all works in this one. So, real quick, let's go some of the basics on the menus. You know, you got your tabs up here, weapons and things. Got your loadout now. Some important things here. This weapon, if you change the attachments and things on this weapon, it changes it in multiplayer too, at least right now. It does. Super annoying. But, you know, you go in here, pick whatever weapons. There's a few weapons in here that are only for the for zombies. Now, you unlock more of these as you level up by just playing the game. As you unlock them, just like in multiplayer, there's under the barracks, there's progression, and there's level unlocks. And so as you just play the game and get XP, you'll level up unless you prestige, then you'll lose all of them. So if you decide to prestige, you'll go back at level 1. You get to keep 1 for the next prestige. You want something permanently unlocked. So if you have a favorite weapon, you can do that. But yeah, so you can go to the gunsmith. You can put on all the attachments and stuff. Again, this will change it for multiplayer as well, though, right now, which is super annoying. So keep that in mind. Knife, there's only, you know, baseball bat is another option you can unlock for right now, at least. We got field upgrades. So these are special abilities that you can use during the match. They recharge over time, and you also unlock these as you level up. And there's different ones for different scenarios. I'm not really going to go over them all, but you can, you know, read each one. Frenzied Guard is really good for farming in certain videos I've made and stuff. Healing Ore is good for playing with teammates and stuff, and this is good for a solo who's trying to go high round potentially. I mean, you have to find, you know, whichever one you want to use. To use them on controller, it's left or L1 and R1 or left bumper, right bumper at the same time. For mouse and keyboard, default binding is X on the keyboard. Obviously, you got your tactical, you got your lethal. I mean, pretty straightforward stuff there. I mean, I feel like I didn't even explain that. So we got Gobble Gums. So by default, you'll have a pack. You can right-click edit. I'm not sure what the buttons are with the controller, but there's some button on the controller. They'll probably bring that up. You can make additional packs. You can equip these. You can only equip them before you start a zombies. It'll let you change it in the middle of a match, but it won't actually change it. Like, you can go to the menus in a match and change your Gobblegum pack. Doesn't matter. Gobblegums are something where you get them in matches, these machines where you can go to them once per round and get one of these Gobblegums. When you get one of the Gobblegums, it will actually use the Gobblegum. And you get these Gobblegums from playing zombies. Like every 3 or 4 rounds or something, it gives you between 1 and 3 additional Gobblegums. And if you exfil, you get a Gobblegum reward, depending on how far you get. If you get past wave, I think it was like 21 or something like that, and then exfil successfully, then you get whimsical Gobblegums. But you get a bunch of Gobblegums for exfilling, and you get them from playing. Longer you go, the better the rewards on average. At least that's my understanding of it. And they each have special effects, but that's up to you. Because they're consumables, I have this bad habit of never using consumables, though, so I almost never use them. But they have some pretty cool effects, so you could look through those, some pretty cool stuff. So there's a section here called Augments. So Augments, something you do not want to miss out on. So from the very beginning, make sure you go to Augments and go to Research Augments. And there's augments for all the different upgrades that you'll get throughout the zombies match. So in the zombies matches, depending on the map, there's different ones of these that are accessible. And also on either map at wave 25, a machine appears in a different location, on a location on the map, depending on the map, where you can just get all of them from one machine. But there's machines you go and you spend points that you get from killing zombies in order to buy these. Now the augments will give you additional effects. So I can go to Juggernog. I can just click these to just select them, or press A on them or X on them, select them, and then it makes so as you play zombies and you know, do your matches, you'll get this XP and slowly unlock these special abilities. So you want to make sure you're working on that from the very beginning, because you'll never unlock these unless you play zombies for like 1,000 hours. Because I mean, it's just maybe not 1,000 hours, but it's a grind unless you specifically target them. I mean, because I think if with one of the I have a video about the fastest way to farm augment XP, and you would have to literally. I think I could do a full one of these in an hour to maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, like minimum, maybe 3 hours. I don't know, because it gets slower and slower the further you go. So it's like 2 to 3 hours probably, you know, with an ideal farm focused on farming just these. There's fall offs, keep that in mind. After wave 25 or so, as far as I'm aware, it seems like you don't get any more augment XP. So if you're just trying to farm these up, you just want to get to wave 21 or 26 and then exfil, or just die on purpose at some point. But yeah, so you get these some cool upgrades. There's upgrades for ammo mods. So there's also ammo mods and an arsenal inside the match. I'll talk about in a second. And you can get extra effects on those. Same for the field upgrades. And you can equip them. So once you have them, you just go to one of these and you can click on them and put on a major augment and a minor augment as you unlock them. To make zombies easier or just more fun, depending on what it is. So that's the augments. Don't miss out on those. Be sure to be researching those as you play. Wonder weapons. There's nothing really in this tab other than explaining that there are these wonder weapons that you can get in the match. And some of these are required, like the Thrustodyne is literally required to beat the level. So that brings me to another topic, which is the missions. So if you go to the missions, there's Liberty Falls, there's Terminus. On the right, there's these quest rewards. And in order to do the quest, it's a whole complicated thing. If you played other zombies, you might be familiar with the concept. I have a video, at the time of making this video, I already have a video on how to do the Liberty Falls one. I need to make the Terminus one. If I do, I'll probably post it, today or tomorrow or something. It's something I'm focused on getting done real fast. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing. You gotta go and you gotta get a water valve and you gotta turn it in a bowling alley and you gotta do some little mini game and then this and you gotta suck up some things and then you gotta fight a boss fight and then bam, you beat the quest. I mean, it's like a minimum 30-minute thing if you know what you're doing. It's extremely complicated, but if you need I would just look up a video for those or watch my video for them because it's not straightforward. It's not very straightforward at all. But yeah, so you want to do those. You obviously can play in a team or play solo, but whichever way you prefer. Everything can be done solo. But yeah, so you work towards a quest and you play zombies and you survive. Also, another thing that's important to keep in mind, what you have weapon XP in this game. And the fastest way to level up weapons is zombies. So, if you're watching this video because you want to get into zombies, then, I would recommend using a different gun once you get a gun leveled up and just keep leveling up different guns because it's a great opportunity to level up guns. So, definitely recommend leveling up your guns while doing this. Also, whatever gun you equipped, you'll go into the match with. So, it's a great opportunity to just bring in whatever gun that you want. But there's also guns inside the match on certain walls that you can buy for points if you want. But I would recommend just bringing in whatever gun you're trying to level up. Now, both maps have this thing at the very start somewhere called a rampage inducer. If you activate it, it'll make the zombies run way faster. So if you're new and you're just trying to do it, then you don't worry about this. But what it's good for is farming XP and things because it makes them run faster. So that makes them come out of hiding faster and get to you faster so you can mow them down faster. That's mainly the main purpose for it. But it does make the game way more difficult, so keep that in mind. Throughout the map, there's ammo caches, which you'll need to use in order to refill ammo if you want to stick with one gun. You can also see everything on the map. I don't know how to open up the map on controller, but there's some way in the menu. Someone said in one of the comments once, I forgot what it was, but there's a way to get to a map. So you can just see everything on the map. That makes things a lot easier. Now, each map has different things. On Liberty Falls, there's these traps. There's traps on each one. They're different ones. Terminus has some tentacle one. This one has some field generator. The field generator, when you activate it, it'll make this thing just have a bunch of electricity all around it, and when the zombies walk in it, they'll get stunned and just stay there till they die. But it costs points in order to do it. Also, you get points from killing zombies. You get additional points for headshots. There's different things that can give you additional points, but the main thing is just headshots. There's also these power-ups that drop. There's a few different ones. There's ammo refill. There's a nuke that just kills all zombies, things like that. This one in particular is an X2. So when I grab this, it'll make it for, I think, 20 or 30 seconds. I'll get double points for killing zombies. So whenever it drops, if possible, a little tip here is you can wait until the next wave is out. This thing will start blinking, and once it blinks super fast, it's about to disappear. And then I grab it then, and that'll allow me to actually use it during the next wave in order to get, the max duration out of the double points. So that's just a little tip that also could help you out. Same thing for the nuke. Something to know about the nuke. The nuke will kill every single enemy that's on the field, but the problem with that is if the nuke kills them, you don't get points for them. So if you're trying to get a bunch of points early or stay ahead of the damage curve, because which I'll get to in a second, then you definitely don't want to use a nuke unless you need to use it. So zombies get stronger and stronger as the match goes on. They don't really hit harder. They just take more and more damage. And also they start to run faster up until... they start to be faster on average until wave 10, and then from there it just levels off. But the first few waves, they tend to just walk even when you have it on normal. Rampage Inducer, they always are the same. They just run. But normal mode, without the Rampage Inducer, they tend to walk in the beginning, and they start going faster and faster and being more likely to run all the way until they peak at wave 10 or something. And then after that, it's just they're at however fast they're going to be on average. We also have armor plates at the bottom left by my health bar. There's a blue bar. And if I hit them, it'll, if I have armor on, I'll take less damage. You can press, it says at the bottom left, the button is G on keyboard. I forget what it is on controller. I literally have done it on controller. I forget it's hold triangle or something. I can't remember. And you can put the armor back on. The zombies themselves can drop armor. There's other ways to get it too, but the easiest way is just from killing zombies. Also, zombies drop the stuff called salvage, which you can use to upgrade your weapon, which is done at an arsenal, which we'll get to in a little bit. Something else to keep in mind is, again, these gobblegums. This is where you get them, is these gobblegum machines. They're marked on the map. There's one there, there's one there, there's one over there, and there is one up here. and you just F to use it. You can get 1 per round, and then it will give you the gobble gum. You take it. It won't use it immediately, but you can see on the right side of the screen, it'll show you what your key is in order to use it, or your button to use it. And you can use it whenever you want, depending on what gobble gum it is. Also, every like 5 to 6 rounds or something, there's one of these weird rounds where there's, in this case, it's these vermin, the spider-looking things. In Terminus, instead, it's these flying insects that come, and it's just a different type of wave. They're actually easier waves on average because it's much easier to deal with them. Although the spiders are a lot easier to deal with than the flying insects on Terminus. But flying insects on Terminus, you just keep moving around in circles and stuff, and they'll miss most of their stuff. Makes it a lot easier. Now, you have to unlock the map on these. So on Liberty Falls, there's these blue things like this, and you have to go to them and you buy your way to the other parts of the map. And on Terminus, instead, there's power generators, which I'll get to in a sec. Now, also, there's crafting tables. Now, this, you can spend that salvage in order to make things. So you can make tactical gear. You can make self-revives. Speaking of self-revives, by default, you start with 1 self-revive. So if you go down, you can actually just get back up. Now, if that happens and you have salvage, you can just go back to a crafting table and make another self-revive, which is a great way to stay alive after every time you die, just go get another self-revive in case you mess up. It's just a good way to make it to like later rounds, just to be safe. Now, again, there are guns on the wall. This is what I was talking about. Like, I can go and get these if you want. There's the Tonto, whatever. So if there's guns that you don't have unlocked, you can get them in there. There's also armor upgrades on the wall. There's a level 2, and then there's also a level 3 on the map. In this case, level 3 is all the way on the left side of the map for this map. But there's also, on this map, there's a vault, and there's a whole Easter egg for that. I have a video, but there's these little Post-it notes everywhere that have the code for it. You can go in there. And in the vault, there are a bunch of safety boxes or whatever, boxes to unlock. And in order to get the keys for the boxes, you have to kill Manglers, which are mini-bosses that start appearing on Wave 11 for this map and 13 for Terminus. And you kill those guys, and they'll drop loot keys, and you can take them and unlock the safety deposit boxes, which will give you random loot, random weapon, or something like that. Also, here's the nuke. There we go. Showing you the nuke. These are the machines I was talking about. Here's Juggernog, for example. This one will increase maximum health. Outside, we have a Speed Cola over here on the map for Liberty Falls. Reload weapons faster and replate armor faster, so you can get those during the match. But the biggest thing to know during the match is upgrading the weapon. So I really should pivot to that. Maybe I should have mentioned it sooner rather than later. So there are, depends on the map, but for Liberty Falls, for example, there's arsenals, which arsenals are on the other one as well. And you can give a damage mod for your gun, which you can read the effects there. And you can upgrade the rarity of the gun, which is really good if you want to stick to the same gun. Now, to do that, you want to get salvage, which is from killing enemies, and you can also get it from certain things on the map. So for Liberty Falls, for example, you can go inside this church over here, and there are these crystals, and 2 to 3 crystals appear every round, and you can blow them up, and they frequently have salvage, so that can help boost your salvage. Now, the most important thing in zombies is these things. It's called Pack-a-Punch, and you want to get these because they make your weapon do insanely more damage and have higher ammo capacity, which is pretty much required to do the higher rounds. Because you can tell by now, I'm on wave 7, and already, instead of 2 shots to kill them with a headshot, I need like 5 or 6 headshots to kill these zombies now. And so it starts to get like, impossible if you don't upgrade your weapon at Pack-a-Punch and then also at the arsenal. There are also wonder weapons. There's a wonder weapon called a ray gun, which is really good for beating the Easter egg whenever you go to do it. And you can just get that from a bunch of different things. Most of it's from other Easter eggs, which, speaking of which, there's Easter eggs like crazy in this. So, for example, there's a thing up here on the church. Oh, I threw that way too late. Hold on. There's a thing up here on the church. And if I can blow that up, then things fall out of the sky. And there's just one type of Easter egg. So you see these things falling out of the sky, leaving loot on the ground. Well, none of those left loot, but they will leave loot. So there's like Easter eggs like that. There's Easter eggs all over the place. And some of them have a chance of giving you the ray gun, which is just the one wonder weapon right now in the game that is really insanely strong. Also, something to keep in mind with that Pack-a-Punch, each gun gets different benefits from the Pack-a-Punch. Most of them, it just increases your ammo capacity and damage. All of them increases the damage, but some of them have crazy special effects. Like, there's a sniper, I forget the name, but a 7.62 in the name. And that sniper, if you upgrade it at Pack-a-Punch, it does explosive damage, which turns it into, like, the best gun for zombies you could possibly get. So you can play around with different weapons and see what different ones do when you take it to the Pack-a-Punch. And it's just a lot of fun to find out what each of the weapons do. Also, there's these things you can find from the Easter eggs. They're ether tools, or aether tools, whatever you call them. And that'll upgrade your weapon rarity without having to spend salvage. So that one was a green. Also, there was a green to my weapon, a green. Now, the top 2 Sam Trials appeared on the map. That's another thing that happens. I'm trying to see. Oh, there it is. It's in the bowling alley. Sam Trials, they happen every few rounds starting at like wave 10 or 9 or something. And what it is you can go to those and you can activate them, and it will give you a random challenge. So in this case, it says just kill enemies in this location, which is one of the easiest ones. There's some where it gives you the PhD flopper, and then you gotta dive on enemies and make explosions to kill them. You gotta kill that way. And how good you do is, you know, like right now it says I need to kill 35. And if I don't kill enough at all, then I just lose. If I kill like 10 or 15 or something, and then I run out of time, then I'll get like a bronze reward, and then a silver reward equivalent. You know, there's like 3 different tiers of rewards. And just how good of stuff I get is just based on how good I do. Now, if I get to the full number, in this case it's 35, then it'll just end immediately, and it'll give me the best reward, which we'll probably see here in just a second. I've got to kill a few more. There we go. And it just ends immediately, and it will give me a reward. I think you can get the ray gun from this, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to open this up, and I just got scrap, and I got a tactical, so that was a pretty bad reward. There's also something else to keep in mind. I'm going to see where it is. If I can look around. Oh, there it is. You'll see this blue light in the sky. So I'm going to head over to that. So this blue light will lead you to the mystery box. You can spend 950 points in order to get a random weapon. It could give you literally anything, including the ray gun. And my kid got a sniper rifle. Now you can do this, I think, 2 or 3 times back to back to back. And then after that, you buy it again, and it will just fly away. And it will... it'll fly away, and then it'll move to a new location, and then you'll just have to look for that blue light in the sky and go find it again. But yeah, you can do this for a chance at getting some really cool weapons, but that's if you're into, you know, gambling and luck, basically, because the pure luck, what you will or won't get. So starting at wave 11 on Liberty Falls, I think on Terminus, I can't remember offhand, you get this thing that pops up in exfil, and after this, it happens every 5 waves. So wave 11, 16, 21, 31, 36, and so on. You can go to it and call it. Now, you have about... I think 2 or 3 minutes to do that before it just goes away, and it'll kill all enemies on the map, and it'll tell you to go to a certain location. So the easiest way to get to it on Liberty Falls is just climb up this ladder back at the start, and then actually you can't do this unless you have it unlocked. Never mind. I was gonna say there's a zip line here, but I forgot you can't unlock it from this side. You gotta unlock it from that side. So what you can do is you can head over to the middle of the map right here. So once you get to the middle of the map, I mean, zombies are going to start spawning everywhere, and it's going to be really rough. You're going to fight your way through them. You don't want the armor upgrade before this. You're going to go up here to right here. There's multiple ways to get up here, but this is one. You take the zip line over to here. You can go up to here. Now, there's a little Easter egg in here, which is you can shoot this nuke. It'll appear right here. And I wouldn't recommend grabbing it right away, although it will disappear after a little while. Also, this is for the exfil for later waves, actually. I just remembered. If you extract early, which I'm doing right now, which is wave 12, you're instead going to go down here. But if you're doing it the later wave, you'll do it up there, and that nuke can help a lot. Once you get to the location, you have to kill a certain number of zombies. In this case, it's 35. Now, the earlier you leave, the easier it's going to be because you won't have to fight an abomination, which is like a boss that can spawn. If it's the later waves, you'll have to fight on that roof, and there's an abomination you have to kill. And if you leave it like late enough, it's like it can get to where it's like literally impossible to kill it, basically. But yeah, so you just got to kill these things as fast as possible. And I don't know if I'm going to get it fast enough because I wasn't going very fast. I needed to reload in the middle of this to go buy ammo, but we'll see. But yeah, so you'll just sit here and kill enemies and hopefully not die. Since I let myself get super low, I need to kill 4 more in 15 seconds. I should be good. There we go. And then after you kill enough, you go to where this icon is, and you press the button to exfil, and that's how you exfil from a map. So that's like the rundown. That's Liberty Falls too. I'm going to talk about Terminus just a little bit here in a sec, but that's the general flow. If you're a beginner, that's what you do to zombies. That's how you get out and stuff. Now you can't just literally beat it, which is the quest, but that's, like I said, a whole thing. That's not something. I mean, you can figure it out on your own. It's just going to take a long time to figure out all the details. But yeah, even when you figure it out, it's like a 30-minute process minimum, like minimum. Well, except for speedrunners, they can do it like they've done it like 15 and stuff. But yeah. And after the match, there's a quick summary. The main thing here is rewards. You can see how your gun leveled up and what rewards and stuff you got. And that's really all there is here that's worth looking at. So there's just a few things to mention about Terminus, which is what I'm doing right now. So Terminus, instead, what you do to unlock new areas and stuff, you also have to buy the doors and things. But You go to these maturation pods and you activate them, and then it does like a wave spawn event, and you have to defend them for 30 seconds in order to turn on the power. Once you turn on the power, then you can go to new areas and you can buy your way out. Like there's a door here I need to buy my way through, just like the blue line things in Liberty Falls, but I can't even buy it until the power is back on. So that's the progression for Terminus. That's what you gotta do in order to get around the map. Terminus also has boats that you can take around to the different islands, and you can see where that is on the map. So right down here, there's you can't see it on this level, but right in the bottom right, there's like a boat thing basically. So like over there, and that you can get a boat there, and also right here, this first room right here with the stamina up, there's this right here. There's an armory, which is the same thing as the vault on Liberty Falls. On this one, you don't need to get any codes or anything. You just go in. You can go in once per round and go buy something if you have a loot key from killing a mangler. But other than that, it's pretty much the exact same thing minus the boats. I mean, the boats are going to be a little bit crazy. And there's 3 amp generators to turn on. We already did 1. And, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Same thing, kill zombies, turn the generators, get the access to the whole place. The only difference is the pack-a-punch on this one is a little weird. You can't see it right now, but there's an underground area you eventually unlock. And once you have that, once you're in there, and you turn the power on in there, it's like under the water. There's like a lift that you have to go jump down into the water and turn on the lift to bring the pack-a-punch up and then be able to use it. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much the same exact game. Different Easter eggs, different boss, different way to beat it. But other than that, the killing the zombies and running around is pretty much the same thing. Also, just so it's clear, the 2 boat vendors, there's one down here, there's one in the underground lab, and they just look like this. You have to turn on the power first to use them, but you just pay 500 points and it'll spawn a boat, and then you can just jump in it, press interact key, and then just, which is F on keyboard. I can't remember what it is on triangle or something, or Y. I can't remember what the button is on controller, but yeah. And then you just drive the boat around and go to all the different areas and run around and kill zombies and stuff. Also, if you stay in the water for too long, a giant tentacle will appear and then spit this poison stuff on you. And then make the boat poisoned, and you'll need to get off and get on land as a mechanic to keep you from just sitting on the water and never fighting anything. But that's really about all there is to know about Terminus as far as I can remember. Yeah, but that about wraps it up, guys. If there's anything I forgot, just leave a comment. I usually don't read comments, but for this video, I will try to for the first day or 2 to go check it every now and then and see if there's any obvious questions I didn't think about that I should answer. But that is really about everything you need to know to get started. So if you never played Zombies before, or even if you have played before and just want to know how it goes in Black Ops 6, that's pretty much everything you need to know. Now you know how to play and what to do and what to focus on in Zombies in Black Ops 6.